Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're revisiting the origins of the Red Hulk. While there have been a few over the years, we'll only be focusing on the Thunderbolt Ross version. We'll also be getting into Hulk-size spoilers, so consider this your warning.
Just worry about yourself. I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
Maybe this is something you want to take up with me, personally.
Life as a general. It might seem counterintuitive to open up a video talking about the Red Hulk with a section from before he was the Red Hulk. But it's important to know who the man before the monster was. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross was a military brat basically right from the beginning. I mean, look at that stash. He practically came out of the womb looking like a human Swiss Army knife. His dad and his dad's dad were both in the military themselves, and that influence soon rubbed off on him. Once he joined, it wasn't long until he eventually rose within the ranks. He became a top general in the Air Force, and soon his path would cross with Dr. Bruce Banner. The two were involved with a top-secret operation to develop a gamma bomb. Bruce later fell in love with Ross's daughter Betty, which didn't really fly well with him. To make matters worse, Bruce would get exposed to gamma radiation and become the Hulk, and the rest is history. Needless to say, after this, Thunderbolt Ross would be intrinsically linked with the Hulk forever.
Hulk, hound, enemy.
Becoming Red Hulk. Hatred can lead someone to do some incredibly irrational, borderline hypocritical things. After countless years, maybe even decades of hunting the Hulk with no luck, Ross had pretty much nothing to show for it. To make matters worse, Betty was killed by the Abomination, and eventually down the line, Hulk would be sent off-world by the Illuminati.
Reload.
The loss of his daughter and the loss of his mortal enemy soon sent Ross down an alcoholic tailspin. This made it easy for a group called the Intelligentsia to recruit him. Through villainous hijinks that involved using satellite technology and stealing the Hulk's own energy, the Red Hulk was born. You know, if you can't beat them, become them, right? Now things get really interesting when you realize that when these events were originally happening in the comics, the identity of the Red Hulk was a complete mystery. That's right, nobody actually knew who this new bad guy was. The news that this was Ross only became revealed in the comic World War Hulks. It was an especially shocking twist since earlier on, Fall of the Hulk's Gamma made it seem like it couldn't have possibly been him. In that comic, a flashback showed Red Hulk killing Ross. So yeah, it sounds pretty confusing, right? It would later be revealed that it wasn't actually Thunderbolt Ross, but a life model decoy of him that he killed. Oh, and during this time, Betty Ross came back from the dead as Red She-Hulk. Convoluted family reunions, soap opera-esque cheating of death. Hey, that's comic books for you. Major team affiliations. An argument could be made that by becoming Red Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross was able to better understand and sympathize with the main Hulk. So like the Grinch, his heart probably grew 3 sizes. Well, regardless of if that's accurate or not, Red Hulk eventually went from a villain to an anti-hero. Look, he might be a bloodthirsty rageaholic, but he can also be a team player. He's been a part of multiple groups and has played nice with various superheroes too. After his rampage was stopped and he was imprisoned, Steve Rogers allowed him to join the Avengers. If this sounded like a bad idea, Rogers himself thought so too. Surprisingly though, Ross managed to be a useful ally. He was pivotal in key missions, especially during a catastrophe that involved the Infinity Gems. Later on, Captain America would send Red Hulk down to Vegas to investigate Agent Venom, another villain turned anti-hero. There, the two would be joined by X-23 and a female Ghost Rider named Alejandra Jones to fight Blackheart, the son of Mephisto. This storyline that happened was known as the Circle of Four. While this ragtag group never had an official name, Circle of Four sounds awesome, so why don't we just call them that? This also wouldn't be the last time that Red Hulk and Agent Venom worked together either. When Marvel did a comics-wide relaunch in 2012 called Marvel Now, the Black Ops team known as the Thunderbolts were relaunched entirely. This time they had an insanely stacked roster. We're talking Agent Venom, Deadpool, Punisher, Elektra, and the Red Hulk as the one calling the shots. Even Ghost Rider and the Leader joined the team later too. In fact, the Leader ended up becoming Red at this point as well. What is it with everyone trying to copy Ross's style? Betty goes red and now the Leader? Marvel is really filled with a lot of clout chasers, you know? Anyways, this was a bonkers lineup, and the missions were never short of entertaining. But this group never got along too well, sadly, so it should come as no surprise that eventually Ross's version of the Thunderbolts came to an end. It's a damn shame too, like, it's a version of the Thunderbolts that's literally led by a guy named Thunderbolt Ross. Come on, that's a match made in heaven. Powers and abilities. When it comes to the Red Hulk's perks, he sure got a sweet deal. Since he's a mixture of both gamma radiation and cosmic rays, he's got some new features too. He's basically got all of the powers of the Hulk, with the bonus of not losing his intelligence either. He might not necessarily be as strong as his green counterpart, but he can still do serious damage whenever he wants. What also sets him apart is the way he can weaponize his anger, because it's a bit different than how Banner does. The more angry Ross gets, the more heat his body generates. It can get so intense that it's like he's engulfed in flames. Talk about too hot to handle. Ross's intelligence also shouldn't be understated. He doesn't have to worry about becoming a feral beast every time he hulks up, so he can think clearly when he's in a fight. Sure, he isn't on the level of Banner or Stark, but his strategic mind shouldn't be overlooked. He's always searching for a tactical edge, and that's made him incredibly dangerous. He once managed to lift Mjolnir by essentially cheating and going into outer space. If that doesn't get him extra brownie points, then what will?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Adaptations and future.
Don't you get it? You're old news. They don't want a psycho. They want a soldier.
Thunderbolt Ross has shown up in a variety of animated and live-action projects in the past, and that's yet to change. Remember Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes? He was in that. Remember Agents of Smash?
As General Thunderbolt Ross, I made a whole career out of beating on greed monsters for the good old U.S. Army. Finally, I decided to fight fire with fire and Hulkatized myself. Now I keep an eye on Hulk, you know, to make sure he doesn't mess things up.
Yeah, Red Hulk was in that too, and voiced by Clancy Brown. Beyond animation, Thunderbolt Ross has shown up in the MCU, originally played by William Hurt, but following his passing, the role was recast. And with that recasting, Ross is set to return to the MCU in Captain America: Brave New World. With this latest installment, we'll finally get to see him show up as the Red Hulk in live action. And this time, he'll be played by none other than Harrison Ford. It's also likely that Red Hulk will be butting heads with Captain America, which is a showdown we can't wait to see. But Brave New World might not be the last we see of him. While there's nothing officially confirmed yet, we could potentially see Red Hulk pop up again in a rumored World War Hulks project. It'll take some time before we know what actually ends up happening. However, what we can say for certain is that Red Hulk will be a force to be reckoned with. And in the end, we're looking forward to seeing him smash his way onto the big screen.
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
Is there anything about Thunderbolt Ross's Red Hulk you think we missed? Let us know in the comments down below.
Can you believe Jones is wasting bandwidth on Greenie when they got a hulked-out war hero like me? Oh, yeah. How you doing, honey? Welcome to the gun show.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.